What's going on, everyone? My name's Adam or EposVox. Welcome back to another video. In this episode, we're taking a look at my MSI GTX 1080. This is an aftermarket card I've got in my brand new personal rig for 2016. I'll have a few videos about it coming shortly, including this one. We're going to take the brand new GTX 1080, 8GB, put it to the test, throw it through some benchmarks. Gonna have a lot of fun with some games. I haven't got to play games in a while, so let's take a look. And if you enjoy this style of video, smash the like button and comment down below if you'd like to see more. I'd love to keep doing this kind of content. Let's get into some games, yeah! As part of my new personal rig for 2016, whose specs you can find in the description below, I now have a GTX 1080 on the X99 platform. This is my first time owning a top-tier GPU. So naturally, the first thing I did was install a bunch of games and crank it up to 11. All of these benchmarks were done on the highest possible settings of games running at a full 3840 by 2160 on my monoprice ultra high definition display. Let's start with shooters, then hit a couple of other games. Starting out, a game I've been enjoying as a casual chill out shooter recently, Counter-Strike Go. Being an older game and a source game, it runs perfectly, of course, reaching as high as 274 FPS and averaging around 175 to 200 FPS during gameplay. Smooth as butter. Next up, a shooter I was fortunate enough to be pointed to by Diamond Rice on Twitter, TOXIKK. This is an arena shooter, one of my favorite genres that never gets love anymore. This is a beautiful game when maxed out at 2160p, and I was able to sustain an average of 80 or more frames per second and maxing at 113 FPS in some areas. It's a pretty slick game. Moving on to Battlefield 4, my old 970 handled this game surprisingly well, but not on max settings. On the 1080, I was able to average 62 FPS at 2160p max, with a max of only around 87 FPS. During actual gameplay, it seemed to bounce around mainly between 55 and 62 FPS, but it was perfectly playable for me. It was fairly smooth. Plus, it's just damn gorgeous. I caved and grabbed the Black Ops 3 Starter Edition on Steam, as gameplay from my buddy Infameth always made it look pretty damn good. Surprisingly, my rig struggled with this one at max during multiplayer, averaging only around 50 to 55 FPS, hitting a max in the 70s. Performance felt pretty inconsistent, and for serious play, I will have to dial it down. Looks amazing though, and the higher field of view compared to the PlayStation 4 is fantastic. OverWatch averaged between 55 and 68 FPS and ran beautifully. I need to get back to that game with this squad again. Last of the shooters is the one I was most excited to max out, Quake 4. It looks amazing. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I meant Doom. I was amazingly able to run it at a full 2160p on Nightmare settings using the Vulkan API, and it just looks fucking amazing. Holy freaking shit. Now, the footage you're watching might look pretty tarry. Neither the OpenGL nor Vulkan API that the game uses cooperates with Shadowplay, Fraps, nor OBS, so the only way I could capture footage was via a 4K capture card that I'm currently reviewing. This means that the vertical tearing shows up in the footage. Apologies. There was also no way to directly benchmark the game's performance, but by enabling the on-screen performance stats, you can see it was sticking from around 55 to 65 FPS during gameplay, with some areas hitting as high as 85 FPS. I was blown away. I did not want to stop playing. I also ran Shadow of Mordor through its benchmark tool and averaged 44 FPS with a max of 54. Ouch. That game is crazy demanding. But by turning down a few settings or lowering the resolution, it runs buttery smooth. Lastly, I wanted to benchmark Guild Wars 2. MMOs like this are notoriously hard to run at high frame rates in certain situations, and I wanted to see how this GPU handled it. During a PvP match, fully maxed out at 2160p with a fairly wide field of view, I was averaging 100 FPS, sometimes spiking up to 140 FPS. Holy balls! PvE is another story, however, as it turns out that it is very much CPU reliant as well. I will have a separate video on that coming shortly. I also ran it through 3D Mark, getting a 17255 in Firestrike and a 5705 score in Firestrike Ultra, along with a whopping 142.38 FPS in Cinebench, though the CPU benchmark literally won't run for me. Don't know what's up with that. 4K gaming is not just a buzzword. It's here. It's doable, if you have a metric crap ton of money for a super expensive GPU and a decent CPU to back it up. but this bodes well for the future, and for now, I'll have fun blowing through any game I throw at this thing. I don't have a ton of experience with benchmarking videos, so definitely leave some feedback in the comments below. Destroy the like button if you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to subscribe for some more kick-ass tech videos, and I will see you next time. My name's been Adam or EposVox. Thank you for watching. I also want to take a moment to give a huge thanks and shout out to our recent Patreon subscribers. Without you guys, these videos would not be possible, and I thoroughly appreciate your help. Visit patreon.com/EposVox to learn more.